Yeah. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the WDN4L. That's the Who Dat Nation for Life podcast. I am your host, Clay Johnson. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at ClayJ2K. You can follow my TikTok at ClayJ2K540. You can follow the show's page on Twitter at WDN4L_pod. Same thing on YouTube. And I think that officially marks the first time that I did not fuck up once saying the intro. And I mean, it's perfect. It's the 10th episode. So, like, it's about time, right? All right, so today we got a couple good things going for you. I mean, obviously, we're in the midst of this Derek Carr bullshit. So, we will talk about that. As you know, I am the king of fuck Derek Carr. So, I've been waiting for this moment. We got possible free agent quarterbacks that the Saints could target. That's really not going to be like a long segment by any means, because it's not for that, guy to start. So, should the Saints just let it rip with my boy Spence? We'll see. Among other things, I got some running backs and wide receiver options that I want to give y'all. And as of recording, it's 8 days away. By the time y'all hear this or watch this, it'll be officially 1 week until the NFL draft. So I've got my final mock draft for the Saints and for, all 32 teams, first round mock. And that'll be the last one. That'll be it. Because I am going to record my live reaction to the Saints pick at number 9. Even if they trade back, that'll be recorded. So that's going to be fun. But obviously, like with that being the case, it doesn't really make sense I might put like a little bit of a prediction before the draft in that episode. Just to see like how close I was maybe. But yeah, I'm going to be recording my live reaction to the 9th pick. So, yeah. And without further ado, let's give one big fuck Derek Carr to the world. I'm not going to go easy at all on this man. And y'all might have thought that I already wasn't. But like straight up, this dude is a pussy. He is a bitch. Derek Carr is a bitch. Like, dude, this is bad. And I don't care. I can't stress enough that I don't care. I'm geeked. I am happy that this is, the case. But just as a man, like, come on, dude. The organization, since you signed here, has bent over backwards for you multiple times. In fact, one of Dennis Allen's biggest issues was that he was always siding with Derek Carr, which to me means that the organization was siding with Derek Carr. I tripped up my words getting so pissed off about it. I was going to try and say organization, but not a word, obviously. Point being is the organization bent over backwards for you, paid you $40 million this offseason, and you're going to fake. It's confirmed now that this shoulder injury is fake. And he just does not want to compete with a fucking possible rookie and Spencer Rattler. He doesn't want to compete. Dude, imagine you walk into wherever you work. I don't care if it's fucking Subway. You walk into Subway tomorrow at your job and they say that they just hired a new person. Could you imagine if your reaction was, well, I fucking quit because I don't want to have to work under these conditions where I'm constantly competing with this new person? What the fuck are you even saying? What are you saying? You are a bitch. Like, I wish I had a better word for it, but I simply don't. Like, to me, you are just a bitch. Like, I can't even put it in better words. If I wanted to, I couldn't. As a man, you're setting a terrible example for your children. And I'm sorry if y'all might think that I'm going too far with that. but I'm not. Like, as a man, you are now showing your children it is okay to quit when things aren't ideal for you. So, again, paid him $40 million. He fakes a shoulder injury, leaks the news that just because he wants to be traded away. And honestly, sorry, no one wants to fucking trade for you. You did that to yourself with your terrible play on the field. And then goes on YouTube, which now he has a YouTube channel. I will be in those comments. You can believe that. My level of hate is going to be the ultimate, like, pettiness. Like, I am going to be up there with, like, as much as Kendrick hates Drake. Like, I mean, I am going to be in those comments all the time if he really posts on there all the time. But goes on YouTube, shows off his new fucking car with a review or whatever the fuck. I haven't even seen the video because it makes me so fucking mad. Anyway, here's what I think the Saints should do about this. Because I've heard podcasts about, like, what is the future for Derek Carr with this team? Nothing. There is no future. If the organization isn't looking at him like he's a bitch already, I don't know what would make them. But anyway, here's what I think they should do. They should put his ass on IR and make him stay on the team and miss an entire season and not be a quarter. Because what he wants is to be released or traded so he can go play somewhere else. No. No. Be petty back. Matter of fact, put him on IR, or don't even put him on IR. I mean, I would, just because, roster space-wise, I would put him on IR. But yeah, put him on IR. Make him sit there the entire season and think about the fact that he made this decision. And I want it to be season-ending IR. I don't want no bullshit news where all of a sudden he's had a change of heart and he could come back at any time now. I don't want to hear that at all. Dude, I was told to stop doing this fuck Derek Carr segment because it was going to get too repetitive. But I knew deep down that all this, from the jump, it was bullshit. We shouldn't have re-signed him. That's for sure. Definitely shouldn't have re-signed him. The bed is made now. You got to lay in it. But point being is, like, you should not have re-signed him. But yeah, you're too scared to compete with Spencer Rattler? You're too scared to compete with, just hypothetically speaking, Shedeur Sanders, Jaxson Dart? You're too scared for that? Is that really what it is, dude? I mean, I know the Louisiana rattlesnake be, making people nervous and shit. But damn, bro. Damn, that's so funny to me. Anyway, that's how I feel. Like, fuck that guy. I couldn't care less, man. Like, oh my God. So yeah, that's the update on the fuck Derek Carr segment. I have nothing but terrible words for him as a person. I hope he stubs his toe tonight. I hope for the next 5 days he stubs his toe. I hope he steps on Legos. I hope he gets on a scooter for some reason. I don't know why he would, but like a Razor scooter. And tries to do like a little spin and it hits him in the shin or the side of the ankle. I hope he puts on a pair of Heelys and like a tiny rock gets caught in the wheel part. And he just fucking goes flying. Just all the petty stuff, all the inconvenient stuff. Like every time he opens a soda, I hope it falls or something and it shakes up to where he has to drink it flat. Yeah. Maybe I hope his tire gets flat. I mean, I know he's a millionaire. It probably doesn't matter, but, whatever. Point being is I just want inconvenience in his life now. And there was someone in the TikTok comments that was like, preying on another man's downfall is crazy. I don't give a fuck about his downfall. I don't. He can be healthy. You know what I mean? I'm praying that he has inconvenience in his life. I'm praying that he tries to go to another team, whether it be this year or next year, and that other team puts him through some bullshit like this because he thinks the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. Like, I don't know. I hope his dog pisses on his carpet. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't wish injury upon this man. I just wish inconvenience. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So yeah, fuck Derek Carr. Hopefully this might be the last time I have to say that, but we'll see. Fuck him. All right. So with that being said, should the Saints draft a quarterback this year or just, let it go with Spencer Rattler? So here's my theory on how just rocking with Spence could be a win-win situation. If you start him and he does well with an actual healthy team around him, because he did not have that last year. I have said this over and over again. I will be that annoying person that will constantly remind you of it. I will say it till the cows come home, all the bullshit sayings. Point being is, he did not have anything healthy around him besides Taliesin Fuanga and Trevor Penning. That is it. He didn't even have Alvin Kamara. As a rookie, getting thrown in there, after being told you're the third string. Does this sound repetitive? It is. But I'm getting to my point. Let's see what he can do with an actual healthy team around him. Everyone is healthy now, obviously, because of the offseason and whatnot. Go into the draft, pick 9, you draft like a Tyler Warren or a Teteroa McMillan, a security blanket for a young quarterback to develop with. Speaking of which, Teteroa McMillan is from Arizona and has spent this entire offseason working out with Spencer Rattler. I don't know. Do with that information what you will. I'm just saying. Point being, let's see what it's like with him as the starter with actual healthy players, weapons, everything around him. And if it goes well, holy shit, you spent a 5th round pick and got yourself a franchise quarterback. If it goes poorly, fuck it. You are probably doing bad enough to be in position to draft a quarterback from this next class that everyone is so fucking in love with, that I just don't see. But that's a different topic. You're probably in position to draft another quarterback next year because you're doing poorly enough with him as a starter anyway. And you know that's just it. He's either probably a good backup or he just didn't work out. You know what I mean? But you know for a fact that you had that answer. And it only took 2 seasons. You know what I mean? That is kind of where I'm coming from when it comes to this whole win-win scenario with Spencer Rattler as a starter. Keep in mind, he obviously didn't have Kellen Moore as his quarterback as his coach last year. Didn't have Doug Nussmeier as his offensive coordinator. Didn't have Scott Tolzien as the quarterback coach. These are all 3 people who have played quarterback in this league at some point. That is amazing for the development of a young player. Quarterback, obviously. And that's not to say that it wouldn't be amazing for a rookie as well. I'm just saying Spence already has enough of, how do I want to word this? Enough of experience in the NFL. Definitely more than a rookie would. Do you get what I'm saying? I think it could be a win-win scenario. And that's just my 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I feel about it. That's, if you want me to be completely honest, there's part of me that wants that to happen. I love Spencer Rattler. I've said it in my last episode. I've said it all the time. I love him. He got shit on for no reason. And I just think it's unnecessary. So part of me wants that. The other part of me is biased and wants Jaxson Dart because I'm an Ole Miss fan. And I think Jaxson Dart could blossom in the NFL and he could be a good quarterback in the NFL. I'm just going to be real with y'all. This whole Shedeur Sanders bullshit, I don't see it. I don't want the media circus. I can't stress enough, I don't dislike Shedeur Sanders. He could be a good quarterback in this league. And he is a top 3 quarterback in this class regardless. I just like Jaxson Dart more. I have obviously spent more time watching Jaxson Dart. Anyway, I don't see it. He is not the body type, the mold, the play style. None of it makes matches what Kellen Moore has done in his past. Jaxson Dart does. Jaxson Dart is literally a mix of Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. He feels like a quarterback that Kellen Moore would take. You know what I mean? And try and build. Plus, again, I've said it before, he went in person to Jackson's pro day. He just sent the quarterback coach to the Colorado pro day. That could mean nothing. Genuinely, it could. But you know what else also means nothing? The fact that Deion Sanders said that he likes those colors about the Saints. A, Colorado is black and gold. That is the colors that they wear as well. He is somewhat promoting his own school by saying that. B, he is, in my opinion, and yes, I somewhat got this from Ross Jackson, but it makes sense. He is praying that the Saints take him at 9, or someone trades up in front of them to take him, because he is worried that his son is going to slip into the 20s or possibly second round. Like, I can't stress it enough. I don't dislike Shedeur. I can't keep saying that enough. So for people that are out there that are just assuming that that's what it is, that's not it. I'm using my brain and context clues. I don't see it. It makes more sense for them to go Jaxson Dart. Plus, even if y'all think Jaxson Dart should not be the pick at number 9, it makes more sense because his draft stock is anywhere from the first round towards, the middle of the second round. So you could possibly get him at 40 anyway and still get a good player at 9. With Shedeur, it's almost guaranteed that you have to take him at 9. So do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's just my thought on that. I don't see it with Shedeur, and I'm not trying to shit on y'all's dreams and whatnot, because I too would think it would be hilarious, top tier comedy if Deion Sanders' son is shitting on the Falcons twice a year. So I'm with y'all on that. I am. But with all of that being said, even if you do draft a rookie, this next thing I'm going to say makes sense, but I'm more so talking about if you just run it with Spence, right? Possible free agent quarterbacks that you can target that will help things go more smooth. Number 1, Teddy Bridgewater. He just won a high school championship as a head coach. So he knows, and obviously he was in the NFL. He was on the Saints at one point. Y'all love Teddy Bridgewater. He would be welcome with open arms coming back, and you know it. Hopefully he would ride his bike back. You know what I mean? But he would be amazing for, helping Spencer or a rookie come along as far as the language of a playbook and whatnot. It's just a veteran presence and enough of a steady guy that if things start to go like super bad, and I know that the Saints say that they want to compete, so I don't know. But point being is he could start, and it wouldn't be like fucking awful by any means. You know what I mean? I still think Spencer would have more of an upside, but that's just because of the age. You know what I mean? So number 2, I don't think number 2 would help. I don't think he would help the teaching process necessarily, unless he's changed his attitude on it, but I don't think he has. Number 2 is more so if you want to go the free agent quarterback route. I can't stress enough that I hate it. I would not do this. So let me go ahead and say it. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. I hate it. I would not do it. I think he's washed. And probably too expensive for someone that's as washed as he is. So I wouldn't do it. But there are people out there that would like it. So that is part of my thinking as far as putting him there. But that's the reason I put him as number 2 and not number 1. Yeah, I know. I literally put it down, and I'm just sitting here saying that, like, shitting on it, saying I wouldn't do it. Like, again, I can't stress enough, I wouldn't. But I did want to give y'all possible. It is possible technically, and I wanted to put that down for y'all. Number 3 is Easton Stick / Tyler Huntley. So both of them are not good. In fact, I have such a distaste towards Easton Stick because he went to Mississippi State, which is a terrible college. Terrible. I hate them as much as I hate the Falcons. But he has worked with Kellen Moore before, and it's possible that you bring him in as far to help with the language, like I was saying with Teddy Bridgewater, but probably to even more of that extent because he worked with Kellen Moore before, so he would know more of the language than Teddy Bridgewater. He's not as good as Teddy, so there's that. And I put Tyler Huntley because Tyler Huntley has shown multiple times that he can come in and start for teams when things are going poorly. I used to love Tyler Huntley, for real. I used to like Tyler Huntley a lot. He just kind of showed that he ended up not really being good. But I think there's a reason I put them like in the same, like as number 3. I put them both because for different reasons. Easton Stick being more of the help you with the language part. Tyler Huntley being more of the, break in case of emergency kind of thing. You already have a guy on roster. But yeah, I don't think he's that good. So we'll just move on to the next topic. All right, so Diana Rossini of The Athletic said that the Saints are determined to draft a quarterback, but not necessarily at number 9. Which is kind of what I was saying as far as Jaxson Dart goes. But, fuck me, right? So, what does that mean? I mean, it's kind of obvious. It means that the Saints want to pick someone that's actually going to help the team immediately at number 9 because you're not always picking in the top 10, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple names of players that will help you immediately that we can pick at 9. And again, that aren't quarterbacks, right? So, Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. The reason I like him at 9, I don't think he'll be there. I think the Raiders probably take him. But the reason he helps your team immediately is him plus Alvin Kamara gives your offense such enough of a run game dynamic that the boxes should be stacked, you know what I mean? Which should help either Spence or a rookie play against easier coverages, you know what I mean? Plus, usually when a running back is on a rookie contract, you tend to just pound them into the ground. Just because that's, the best time to do it value-wise. I'm not, in agreement with it from a... how do I want to word this? I feel for the players. You know what I mean? I think it's fucked up. But from a coaching standpoint, from an organization standpoint, it makes sense. It's smart. But it does factor into why running back shelf lives are so short. But... Jeanty would, like I said, him and Alvin Kamara make them stack the boxes against them. Plus, they have receiving threats too. There's formations where you could probably have them both on the field at the same time, and it wouldn't, there wouldn't be any detriment to it. It'd probably be, some of your best formations, really. That's how he would help immediately. Another option is Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. This gives you a big body guy to make some tough catches across the middle on third downs in the red zone, what have you, As I said before, if you're going with Spencer, Tetairoa McMillan has been catching passes from him all off season, so they're getting a rhythm built together already. Yeah, I know that's a big if. I'm just saying, believe it or not, that matters. So yeah, I mean, that's how he would help. Like I said, big body, going across the middle. Not to mention, it would just add another dynamic receiver, and you're not rocking with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed as your two receivers. You know what I mean? Not that that's a bad thing. I love those guys. Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State, is my next option. For the same reasoning, big body guy to make some tough catches for you. I've heard it said multiple times that in Kellen Moore's offense, he consistently has tight ends, running drag routes across the middle and whatnot to just suck up all the attention and leave receivers wide open. Or if you plan on just leaving the tight end open, then, fuck it, you'll get a Brock Bowers situation where they're catching 100 passes and shit. Tyler Warren is that talented. He is. I don't even want to say the Wildcat aspect. Obviously, that's cool. But I'm not even necessarily going to factor that in as to why it would help your team immediately. I mean, again, I get it, and that is cool. But I'm more so talking about the fact that he's just a big body guy with great hands. And he can block, so helping your run game. We got Jalen Walker, which is a defensive end or just edge out of Georgia. This helps your team immediately in the sense of he's very versatile, so you can line him up at the linebacker positions as a, outside rusher or even in that, outside defensive end, even though they're, I've said it before, D tackles because it's the 3-4, but point being is he is that versatile. He can be lined up just about anywhere on defense. Obviously not at safety, but maybe on scout team. Nah, but point being is that is how he would help immediately. His versatility is, the type of player that Brandon Staley would love. And obviously with your run defense being ranked 31st last year, any sort of guy that's good against the run is going to help you immediately. Defense, yeah. Need I say no more? Next, Jahdae Barron. I would have put Will Johnson, but this kid didn't run a 40 at his own pro day. I have no idea what's going on with him. And truly, it might not matter. It really might not. His tape speaks for itself. He is arguably the most dominant corner in college football over the past 2 years. It's just, it rubs me the wrong way personally. Now, I've heard that, his agent probably advised against it. If he's coming off an injury, he might run slower than he actually is, and it could just hurt his stock, among other things, you know what I mean? But, just for that reason, I just left him off. I put Jahdae Barron instead. But you can put Will Johnson in this exact same category. You really can. So, point being, Jahdae Barron, or, fuck it, Will Johnson too. Point being, DBs, the way they help your team immediately, like I said, you put Alante in the slot. You have your two set outside corners in Kool-Aid and Jahdae or Will Johnson. And hopefully you can get some fucking turnovers. Get the ball back to your offense. The more the offense has the ball, the more likely they are to score. This isn't fucking rocket science. And it doesn't matter who the quarterback is in that scenario. If they constantly have the ball, if they're just turning it over too, then obviously they're just fucking up. And you probably need a different quarterback anyway. So that's how a DV would help your team immediately. Michael Williams, edge out of Georgia. Same exact thing as Jalen Walker. He's just, hypothetically speaking, Jalen Walker already got picked. You know what I mean? So Michael Williams, same exact thing. And I put down, I guess, Armand Membu and Kelvin Banks. I have said it before. I think we need to just go ahead and give Trevor Penning one more year. I don't think he was by any means, the reason your team was bad last year. But I'm going to entertain those that think he's ass and we should just shore up the other side of the line on the opposite side of Tally. And Membu and Kelvin Banks being the more realistic options. Will Campbell will probably be gone. Honestly, Membu will probably be gone too. Point being, you draft him, you put him at right tackle, and to those out there who, I know this is your point, you are set at offensive tackle for years to come. You should not have to touch that position on either side, hopefully for 10 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I do. And that's why I put them down. So Armand Mimbu, Kelvin Banks, obviously it would help your run game and whatnot. And that's what this team wants to do. They want to run the ball. So yeah, those are options for you at 9 that aren't quarterbacks that can help your team immediately. I got a couple of running back and wide receiver options for you. These options are for the 2nd to 7th round picks. So it's going to be names that vary. So like, don't sit here and think that I'm saying Nick Nash as your 2nd round pick. You know what I mean? I think he's talented enough, but point being, here are some running back options for you that range anywhere from the 2nd to 7th round. Because let's assume in this scenario, you're spending your 1st round pick on a quarterback. So we got Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa. I like this kid a lot. I've said it before, other than Ashton Jeanty, he is my favorite running back in this entire class. That includes over Omarion Hampton. That includes over Travion Henderson. I love the way he runs. He's very physical. Iowa just runs the ball. That is all they can do. I mean, shit, their quarterback was Cade McNamara, whatever the fuck. He couldn't even make it in Michigan. So, yeah, Iowa runs the ball. Even with that being the case, it's almost like Ashton Jeanty. He still produced. He didn't produce nearly to the extent that Ashton Jeanty did, but he's not the talent that Ashton Jeanty is. I've told you before, Jeanty is a generational prospect. Caleb, not so much. Not as much of a generational prospect, but still a great running back and could give you solid minutes with Alvin Kamara. Absolutely. And I would say the same about Quinshon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State, formerly of Ole Miss. He is just a little fucking bulldog, which is ironic. The way he runs, he's so physical. He kind of reminds me of Pacheco in a way, but he's not necessarily pissed off at the ground the way Pacheco is. That dude acts like there's fucking fire ants on his feet all the time. Yeah, I think Quinshon Judkins would arguably be, maybe other than Caleb Johnson, out of all these that I'm about to say, would arguably be the best compliment to Alvin Kamara because he is so drastically different than Alvin Kamara. Now, Quinshon cannot catch. He can, but I'm saying, he is not going to be catching the ball a lot for you. So, I guess there are limitations. My guess is you could get him in the 3rd round. And, I mean, it's funny because that's where Alvin Kamara was drafted, and he ended up being your all-time franchise leader and everything. So I guess take it with a grain of salt that he's going to get drafted in the 3rd round. But I just think he'd be a great compliment to Alvin Kamara. He has enough burst, and I think he is more quick than fast. I have seen it with my own eyes. He might have worked on his speed. He looked a little bit lighter when he was at Ohio State. So, yeah, but point being is he has enough burst. In the NFL, he'll probably get caught from behind, but he reminds me of Mark Ingram, too. He has enough burst to break it, and if he gets caught, he gets caught, but he still probably got you at least 30 to 40 yards if he broke one. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think he would be a good compliment to Alvin Kamara, along with Caleb Johnson. Now, this 3rd one I put on there because y'all seem to love him. I don't know if I'm just not watching enough tape or what. I just, I don't know. I'm not against him. I'm not. I think he was the leading rusher in the SEC anyway. So, I get it. I do see the appeal. Point being, Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, ironically, same college as Alvin Kamara. So, maybe they would have that kind of connection and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. He's very fast, solid runner. I don't think he has any fumbling issues or anything, so there's that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't spent too much time on him, so maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what I'm not seeing because I just haven't chosen to watch enough tape on him. But y'all seem to love him, and I'm going to take your word for it. So that's why I put him on here. Dylan Sampson, running back out of Tennessee. We got Jordan James out of Oregon. I think he's a sleeper. He's someone you could probably get in the 6th round. I just think he is a good developmental running back. Even if he doesn't even beat like Kendra out, Kendra probably gets hurt. And then at some point, the third string running back gets reps. It just is what it is. Jordan Mims got reps last year. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think Jordan James would be a solid developmental prospect. I'm just going to be honest with you. I can't quite put my finger on what it is that I love so much about him. I just do. You know what I mean? I just do. So, I guess if you think that's dumb, then you think that's dumb, and that's fine. I just like Jordan James out of Oregon. And then finally, Jaden Blue out of Texas. Now this guy is because he doesn't remind me of Alvin Kamara by any means, but he can catch out of the backfield. He is fast. I noticed him just from watching Texas versus Georgia. Like, he just seems like a good check down option. You know what I mean? And that's great for a rookie quarterback. That's great for a Spencer Rattler. Again, if he doesn't beat out Kendra Miller, then he doesn't beat out Kendra Miller. And that's fine. He's still going to get reps. So yeah, another developmental guy is what he would be. Now, he does have fumbling issues. So that is something he would have to clean up. I trust Joel Thomas, though, to help him clean that up. So those would be the running backs. And now we're going to go into the wide receivers. We're going to start off with Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State. This dude is apparently about to be a first-round pick all of a sudden, and good for him. Seriously. I see it. I see the talent. I do. A lot of people are saying he could be the next Michael Thomas for the Saints if they draft him. That's great. That's exactly what I would want, obviously. I'm assuming if you're drafting him, you didn't draft Tet at 9, so probably Jaden Higgins at 40 would be where this would happen. And I think that's great value for him. I think he ran a 4.5, so he's not slow by any means. Physical, helps in the run game, goes up and gets the ball. I like Jaden Higgins a lot. Next, Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Y'all are probably thinking that I'm biased because I'm always mentioning Ole Miss in all my videos. I do love that school. I do. But they had a talented-ass roster last year, and you can't deny that. So, Trey Harris. I've seen you could get him in the 3rd round. I think that's a little bit wild. I would think he would go in the 2nd. But if he's there in the 3rd, then he's there in the 3rd. Point being is, he is a lot faster than people might think. I've seen him break away many a times. He is very much I am much better than you and I'm going to show you mentality kind of guy. He is going to go up and get the ball, like I said, just like Jaden Higgins would. I love Trey Harris. That goes without saying. And I think he would immediately come in and, again, be that Michael Thomas role for you. He's faster than Michael Thomas was. He's faster than Jaden Higgins is. Not like super faster enough that I would prefer Trey Harris over Jaden Higgins, but like you get my point. He just has the injury issues, and I don't know. To me, that sounds like a Saints pick. I say that's all the time. They love their injured guys. I don't know what it is. Hopefully, he can get over those and then at the next level because seriously, he is such a talented player. Next, we got Alec Iamdaniamdan. All right, do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and type in, if you're not already watching on YouTube, type in Alec Iamdaniamdan versus Travis Hunter. Because this dude was putting Travis Hunter in a fucking blender. Like he works at Tropical Smoothie or something. Like, it was bad for Travis Hunter. And this Travis Hunter is supposedly like the best corner in this class. You know what I mean? Just depends what position you want to put him at. Alec Iamdaniamdan was shitting on him with a terrible quarterback. I think his name's Ashton Daniels or something. He sucks. Point being, and at Stanford, they tend to be a pro-style offense. He's very slept on. He's a big body guy. He's just fast enough. I don't know. I like Iamdaniamdan. I do. I wouldn't be upset with. He'd probably be a pick in like pick 40. A lot of these receivers are probably going to be the early ones, just because their stock, if anything, their stock is rising. But yeah, so I like Iamdaniamdan at 40. That would be solid. It would. I love that pick. Next, we have Nick Nash out of San Jose State, the guy that got robbed of the best receiver in the nation award. He had a triple crown at San Jose State. I couldn't even come close to telling you who the quarterback was, let alone who else was on their team. And he still led the country in receptions, receiving yards, and yards per catch. Impossible, maybe not yards per catch, sorry. That might have actually been Trey Harris. Touchdowns. Yeah, because I just know for a fact he got the triple crown. I'm assuming it's receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. At San Jose State, bro, in the Mountain West. That's crazy. He is like projected to be going in like the fourth or fifth round. It's fucking nuts. I like, you know, sure, take advantage of that. But I'm saying, like, I think he is like a second round talent. Like, he is good. He was really good. And I think he only had like two, maybe even one drop this entire season after getting 70% of the offense going through him. That is insane. That's insane. He is just as sure, arguably the most sure-handed receiver in this entire class. So, I would love if the Saints would draft him, if they didn't already draft someone else. Or fuck it, maybe even if you already did draft someone else. You know, maybe that's a little foreshadowing as far as what I got coming up later for y'all. And then finally, we have Isaac Tisla out of Arkansas, or Arkansas. When this whole draft process started, he was going in like the 7th round and whatnot, and I thought that was insane. I watched the Senior Bowl. I watched Jaxson Dart throw a touchdown to him. It was a contested catch. Then I saw the combine, and he ran a 4.4, and he's like 6'2 or 6'3. Like, his stock is rising. I've seen him go in the 3rd round now, and that's good. Good for him. He is my sleeper. I've said it before. I don't know if y'all remember, but I've said it before. He is my sleeper in this class as far as wide receivers go. I like Tisla a lot. And it's not just because I won a natty with him as my receiver at Arkansas on Road to Glory in College Football 25. I always want to call it NCAA because that's just what I grew up playing. Anyway, yeah, Isaac Tisla, big body guy that still ran a 4.4 out of Arkansas. And that'll wrap that up. That's some running back and wide receiver options for y'all. Anywhere from the 2nd to 7th round that can help the team out. So here we go. I say this with somewhat of a heavy heart, but this is my final mock drafts. I need a minute. I'm kidding. But it is my final mock draft for this off season because like I said, by the time y'all hear this or watch this, it'll be officially 1 week until the NFL draft. We fucking made it, y'all. We have fucking made it. So, I am here with Clay Johnson's mock draft 4.0 and the final mock draft. Which one y'all want me to do first? You want me to do the 32 or the Saints? Okay, I'll start with the Saints. Why not, right? So, with this, I managed to not make any trades. Whatever. But here we go. At pick 9, Shedeur McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. I have never done him in one of my mock drafts for the Saints before, and I've been trying to switch it up and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this Saints mock draft right here that I did is absolutely with the thinking that Spencer Rattler is your quarterback. Okay? So, like I said, Shedeur McMillan has been working with him all offseason already. He knows Spencer. They're both from Arizona. I'm sure they know each other on more of a personal level too. They are really not that far away in age and whatnot. So yeah, Tedero McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona at pick 9. At pick 40, I don't know how this happened. I think this dude's a first-round pick 10 times out of 10, but I will take it. At pick 40, I got Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. Arguably the best pass rushing interior defensive lineman in this entire class. If you go look up his PFF grades, they got a little bit better each year at Texas A&M, and then they fucking skyrocketed when he went to Ole Miss. I think he peaked. He has peaked as far as college. He has peaked at the perfect time. He is an athletic, not necessarily freak, but he's just the type of defensive tackle you can build your entire defense around. I would be so interested to see Brandon Staley use him in different ways, like whether it be nose tackle on a obvious passing down, or can you imagine Walter Nolan, Devon Godchow, Brian Brzee? Like, I would love that. I would love Walter Nolan on the Saints. At pick 71, might as well, right? Princely Umanmielen, edge out of Ole Miss. Look, I'm an Ole Miss fan. I understand. However, those two played together. They already have somewhat of an understanding of how the other works. And that matters on the defensive line. Not needing to necessarily... Did I just see a bug? Hold on. My mind's playing tricks on me. Anyway, having chemistry on the defensive line, it matters. Without having to speak on it, you can work off of each other and whatnot. So, I've already said it before too. Umanmielen is the type of edge that Brandon Staley would love. He can be that stand-up pass rusher, or he can have his hand in the ground, in the dirt, and pass rush as well. I like Umanmielen a lot. Led the SEC in sacks. I feel like I don't need to build on that too much. At pick 93, I got a favorite of mine, Harold Fannin Jr., tight end out of Bowling Green. I love this dude. He's so athletic, sure-handed, led the entire country in receiving yards as a fucking tight end on Bowling Green. Need I say no more? I think 93 is insane value for him. So yeah, Harold Fannin Jr., tight end out of Bowling Green. Pick 112, Denzel Burke, corner out of Ohio State. I believe he is good enough to compete to be a starting corner for you. You have to take a corner in this draft. You just have to. The way the board fell, I just couldn't until here. You know what I mean? But I do think he has the skills and whatnot to start for you. Maybe not game 1, but hopefully that is the case. Hopefully it can be game 1. But like I said, I still do think he has the absolute tools and skills to start for you at some point. So, Denzel Burke out of Ohio State. I like that pick. Pick 131, Dylan Fairchild, guard out of Georgia. It's possible he starts for you. It's possible he has to wait behind Dylan Radins for a year. Played in the SEC, seen a lot. He is a solid O-lineman. At pick 184, I drafted Riley Leonard, quarterback out of Notre Dame. He just feels like a locker room guy to me. You know what I mean? He had success. He made it to the Natty. You know what I mean? He knows how to use his legs. I think that could be helpful for Spencer. I don't know. He's really not like a super polished passer by any means. And I don't think by any means that he would start for you in any scenario. But he could be a developmental piece. I saw him there and I was like, fuck it, maybe he could turn into a Taysom Hill type. Not where he plays every single position and whatnot, but, wildcat kind of guy. I don't know. He seems like a good locker room guy. I like his vibes, and he could be a solid backup, if anything, for you. At pick 184, you're not spending a premium pick on the kid anyway, so. At pick 248, Taj Brooks, running back out of Texas Tech. Go look up his tape. Just do it. Do yourself a favor. Always makes the first person miss. Great at pass blocking. High motor guy. Taj Brooks, running back out of Texas Tech. And my last pick at 254. I know I already drafted Tet, but remember what I said. Because I drafted Nick Nash out of San Jose State. I have no idea how he was there in the 7th round. But it's possible. And I took him. And now your wide receiver room, hypothetically with this draft, consists of Chris Olave, Tedoroa McMillan, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, Nick Nash. You don't need any more. You're cutting everyone else at that point, and that's fine. That's what you would want. I think he would make the team, is my point. So, other than Brandon Cooks, all young guys that I listed. And you can just build on that. And Brandon Cooks can be the veteran in the room that can help everyone out as they go. I love that thought. I do. That's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that'll be my final Saints 7-round mock draft. We got Tedoroa McMillan in round 1, Walter Nolan in round 2, Prince Umanmielen and Harold Fannin Jr. in round 3, Denzel Burke and Dylan Fairchild in round 4, Riley Leonard in round 6, Taj Brooks and Nick Nash in round 7. Now we're going to move on to my mock draft 4.0 for the entire league. All right? There are a couple changes here from my last one. And Tyler, Cowboys fan, I think you might like it. I think. So let's see. Pick 1, Cam Ward. I'm not even going to say anything else. Pick 1, Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami. Pick 2, Travis Hunter, wide receiver / corner out of Colorado. The Browns have said that it's possible that they like him rather than Abdul Carter here. So I just played with that possibility. Either way, for me, the top 3 is the same. It just kind of depends what order, if that makes sense. So with this one, I just went Travis Hunter to the Browns. My guess is he would play corner for them. That would be my guess. I don't know. I don't know if I see him playing receiver for them. I don't know. I'm so confused on Travis, what he's going to do. But anyway, pick 3 to the Giants, Abdul Carter, edge out of Penn State. A lot of people could... So they just recently brought back Shedeur Sanders for a visit, which is definitely intriguing this late in the process. You usually don't see that. But I don't know. I think you see Abdul Carter there and you just have to take him. You do. So that's what I went with. At pick 4, Will Campbell, once again, to the Patriots. At pick 5, Mason Graham to the Jags. At pick 6, Ashton Genty to the Raiders. These are where the things aren't changing much. At pick 7, Armand Minbu to the Jets. At pick 8, Tedoroa McMillan to the Panthers. Like I said, it's possible they want to get Petty, but also they did just bring him in for a private workout a couple days ago. So, plus, they have nothing on offense. Nothing. So, he would help. I've heard they want to trade back, and good for them if they do, but that could just be a little bit of baiting, you know what I mean? Because teams think that the Saints are going to draft Shedeur, so they want to jump in front of the Saints, and by teams, I mean the Steelers. I don't know. I just sticked and picked, and they took Tedoroa McMillan. At pick 9, the New Orleans Saints select Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. I've told you all my reasonings as far as him being an immediate help on this offense. So I'm not going to dive into it like a super amount. Just like I said, with Spencer, with a rookie, doesn't matter. Having a tight end like him helps so much. So much. At pick 10 to the Bears, I went Shedeur Sanders. Now, this is because if Ben Johnson lets Dennis Allen have any sort of say at all, you know damn well that Shedeur Sanders is his kind of defensive end. So that's kind of my thinking with that. I don't know per se that that'll happen, but I wanted to play with that possibility, like I said before, with a different pick. So that's what I did. I went Shedeur Sanders to the Bears. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad pick, I guess. I don't know. Pick 11 to the 49ers. Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas. They just lost Trent Williams, so there's that. Okay, so here we go, Tyler. Are you ready? At pick 12 to the Cowboys, Iamdaniamdan, running back out of UNC. They need a running back. I know, Tyler, I know you are a big fan of Javonte, and that's fine. Javonte is arguably the best pass-blocking running back in the entire league, and he will always have a spot on a team because of that. Plus, he is still only 24 years old. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take Iamdaniamdan. Like that, you would all of a sudden actually have a dynamic running back room. Because I guess Miles Sanders is there too, but okay. Yeah, so let me know, Tyler. Let me know what you think. I went on Iamdaniamdan out of UNC. Pick 13 to the Dolphins, Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. Pick, especially because they just put Jalen Ramsey up for trade, which, by the way, if you want to go for it, New Orleans, you have the money. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You do have the money for it. Pick, plus. That is not all I'm going to say. Because, plus, Jalen Ramsey loves Brandon Staley. And Brandon Staley loves Jalen Ramsey. So, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to speak too much of it into existence. But there you go. Pick 14 to the Colts, Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas. Pick 15 to the Falcons. I know that I plan on them fucking this pick up. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming that they'll be a little bit smarter this go around, but they got Mike Green, defensive end out of Marshall. I'm not speaking anymore on the fucking Pittsburghs. Pick 16, the Cardinals, Jalen Walker. I guess that would be how I have the Falcons fucking this up, is not picking Jalen Walker when he's right there. Yeah. Pick 17 to the Bengals, Mykel Williams out of Georgia. That's back-to-back Georgia defensive ends right after the Falcons pick, which is what I'm saying of, I guess, how they're going to fuck it up. Pick 18 to the Seahawks, Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. They lost DK. They lost Tyler Lockett. They have JSN. He's a beast. They brought in Cooper Kupp. That doesn't move me at all. I think they need another receiver. And Matthew Golden is a good receiver. So, yeah. Pick 19, the Bucks. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. You can pair him with Antoine Winfield. Starks being the more coverage safety, like I've said before. Pick 20 to the Broncos. Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, wide receiver. He is a big slot. Technically, they have that in Cortland Sutton right now, but it wouldn't hurt to have two. It really wouldn't. Plus, it gives you versatility. You know what I mean? I wouldn't pass up Egbuka if he's there, I guess is what I'm saying. Pick 21 to the Steelers, Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. I think this is what's going to happen. That is absolutely where I think he goes, is to the Steelers. Pick 22, Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan to the Chargers. I've said it multiple times. It's just because of Jim Harbaugh. So, pick 23, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan to the Packers. Pick 24, the Vikings, Gray Zabel, guard out of North Dakota State. They have spent so much money on their O-line this offseason. It just feels like a huge importance to them. And why not just draft one? Okay, so Texans pick 25. Tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. They lost Laramie Tunsil. I almost said Trent Williams. Laramie Tunsil. So yeah, they need a left tackle. Pick 26 to the Rams. Jihad Campbell, linebacker out of Bama. Pick 27 to the Ravens. Guard out of Alabama, Tyler Booker. I did not mean to have like these back-to-back picks from the same schools happen so much, but fuck it. Here we are. Pick 28 to the Lions. James Pierce Jr., defensive end out of Tennessee. All right, Commanders fans. Here we are. It's your pick. What are you going to do? Pick 29 to the Commanders. Nick Emanwari, safety out of South Carolina. Absolute physical freak. Absolute athletic freak. Just a freak all around, man. Just absolute freak. And you need a safety. And he is literally like Jeremy Chin, but possibly better. So we'll see. We'll see. That's who I got y'all taking. Pick 30 to the Bills. I told you he's a first-round pick. I told you. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. Pick 31 to the Chiefs. Josh Connerly Jr., tackle out of Oregon. And pick 32 to the Eagles. Donovan Izaraku, edge out of Boston College. They like their small guys with high motors at defensive end. It's a good mold for them. It works. He fits right into that. So yeah, that's going to wrap up this episode. Real quick, I want to tell y'all about my friends, Daniel and Tyler. They started their own podcast. They go live on, here, let me double check. So they go live on Twitch on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and sometimes they will on Sundays. Yeah, they have a new podcast of their own, the D&T, D&T. So I'll put it in my description, like, so I can spell it out for y'all. The D&T podcast, because Daniel and Tyler. And it's about WrestleMania and wrestling and whatnot. So if y'all are into that, dude, go check it out. Like, they know what the fuck they're talking about. They're so passionate about it. It was so entertaining. I joined their first live stream the other night, and I was just bullshitting with them, asking dumb questions on purpose, but also actual questions, and they had to answer every single time. So, those are two of my best friends in the entire world. I can't stress enough how good of people they are. I really do think y'all would have fun if that's the kind of shit you're into. I really do think you would have fun checking them out. So, like I said, I'll put it in my description. I'll put it in my, podcast description, the YouTube description, just so y'all have, for it to see instead of just hear me say it. But you can follow them on TikTok. You can follow them on Twitter. You can follow them on Instagram and Twitch, obviously. The Twitch is under a different name. I will put that in my description as well. But yeah, the D&T podcast about WrestleMania. So yeah, shout out to my boys for that. And like I said, just going to wrap up this episode now. Episode 10. Like I said, bro, we are officially a week away from the draft. We have made it, and I cannot express enough how happy I am. So yeah, I'll catch y'all on draft day when I record my live reaction to pick 9. Hopefully it's Jaxson Dart. All right. Who dat, baby?